Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way, and today we have co-hosting with us Bill Hannon at the far end, and you all know Bill and we've missed him, and Kathy Medeiros in the middle, and our guest is Jessica Filkins, who is a health coach, and as part of her experience, she's discovered the benefits of turmeric and other things for anti-inflammatory benefits, and she actually manufactures a wonderful tea that I drink, and it's delicious and spicy.
Yeah.
What got you started with the health coaching?
I've always been interested in cooking and nutrition, but I got really sick with stomach problems after taking too many antibiotics. So as part of my journey of healing, I found a program called the Institute of Integrative Nutrition after I graduated from Colorado College. And I studied there and got certified to be a health coach.
And when did you have the problems with your stomach? Was it before you were certified or after?
Yes, before. So I think that was 2010. I started having digestive problems, and I did the health coaching after I went to Indonesia and learned about turmeric and ginger. And then I studied at IIN, I think 2013, 2014.
Okay. So how did you discover it in Indonesia?
I was living there doing my yoga teacher training and then just traveling and surfing, and my stomach had started to heal, but I was still struggling a lot. And some of the women there they would carry around these big bottles on their backs with a yellow liquid. And I asked my friend, like, what is this? And they said it's jamu. So I started drinking it, and each woman, the way they made it was different. So sometimes it was really bitter, sometimes it tasted good, but it all had turmeric and ginger in it. So I learned how to make it there. And when I came home to the States, I started making it myself, and I noticed a huge difference in my digestive health. And then I gave some to my dad and my grandma, who both had arthritis, and they noticed it really helped their
So
arthritis.
it was helping other inflammatory conditions.
Okay, Destiny.
So how did you come up with this blend? That is it just one kind, or is it multiple kinds?
So there's 3 variations, but the main blend is this. And when I first started doing it, I was juicing the fresh turmeric and ginger, and then adding, in Indonesia they use a raw egg, but I was using almond milk and coconut milk, and then I thought it tasted really nice with chai. So then I was brewing chai and then adding vanilla and honey and all these things together, and it was a big, long process. So it wasn't really, I was selling it at the co-op in Wakefield, but it wasn't very accessible because it was so, by the time I was finished all that, it was
intensive.
yeah, so I had to price it really high, and people loved it, but they were paying $6 for like a 1-serving thing. And then I remembered as a kid drinking instant chai tea, so I was like, I wonder what's in that. What can I make it into a more accessible form so that more people can benefit from it? And I looked at the ingredients of chai tea, and it was just milk, powdered sugar, and spices. So I thought, what if I could put like a healthier type of milk and a healthier sweetener, and then found powdered turmeric and powdered ginger, and combine that with all the spices that are typically in chai tea.
Now, how did you discover the effects of black pepper on the turmeric and ginger?
Yeah, so I was in IIN, I learned about the health benefits of turmeric, and which I was already using and experiencing, and then I read from many different resources that black pepper makes it, I think, 2,000 times more bioabsorbable. So turmeric on its own, the curcumin, which is the active ingredient, one of the active ingredients or components that is the main anti-inflammatory. If you take it with black pepper or the pepperdine, which is the extract of black pepper, it really increases its effect.
Yeah. Now, it should be noted that there are many investigations and cases that have studied turmeric, and it shows up in, you can find it online listed for many to be included in anti-inflammatory diets. The ginger also has been known for years to settle stomachs.
Oh, yeah, right. Just I myself, I can't get past the taste of ginger. I just find it a little too intense.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't really enjoy many things.
In the combination with perhaps coconut or cashew milk or almond milk and some honey,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. And you start off with a small dose.
Well, the thing is, if it's,
And
if
build
it's
up.
a chai type of preparation, I do enjoy chai. So the thing is, I would probably enjoy it that way, but I'm just saying for ginger candy or candied ginger, or anything along that line, I just find it a little too hot, too spicy. And I know it's a great vasodilator because I use it in my herbal preparations with, capsaicin as well as the ginger. But the black pepper, I know, has really shown not just increases the bioavailability, but also as a vasodilator. So it opens up your capillaries, and now the circulation gets deeper into your tissue. So it's very interesting that you use that as well.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up one other thing that we talked about on the phone a little bit, that incorporating it with a diet that limits certain things, like a diet like the specific carbohydrate diet, it works for people with autism, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel. It works for numerous disorders.
Sure.
And you have to limit your grains and sugars.
Okay? So it's like you're cutting back on the carbs or the glucose.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
you-
sorry, the
complex sugars.
right, what's that, people sensitive to gluten.
It's a lot more than gluten, because even things that don't have gluten
Right,
can cause irritation.
right,
They release sugars.
sure.
Yeah. And that's the diet that helped me the most during my healing process was a specific carbohydrate diet.
Are you able to eat differently now?
Yeah,
A little
now
of everything?
I can pretty much eat everything except for I still stay away from gluten because I think I'm pretty sure I've been allergic to gluten my whole life because I've even noticed like as a kid when I would eat cereal I would feel really bloated, and so now I eat everything except for gluten.
Well, that's good news.
I try to limit my sugar, but sometimes it sneaks in.
Do you use stevia in any of your teas? It's a natural sugar.
Yeah, so I've been experimenting with that, especially we have a cocoa version, like a hot,
Which is delicious.
yeah, a chai hot chocolate.
I'm not supposed to have it, but I had some.
Yeah, it's so good. So we have a dairy-free version of it and then one with dairy. And I've been experimenting putting stevia in it as well because I get a kind of stevia that's just the green leaf, so
The
it's not
leaves.
processed, it's not white.
Right.
And-
It's not processed.
Yeah,
Good.
so I like it, but some people just really don't like the aftertaste of stevia.
So you dry the leaf before you incorporate?
I get it already dried and powdered, but it's green. It's not the
Great.
processed white stuff.
Great, sounds great.
Yeah, if you're okay with stevia, then it's great. But some people just don't like the aftertaste.
And it makes for a very pretty colored drink that you like to call liquid sunshine.
Because it's yellow. Yeah.
So the different mixes, though, they all stay the same color?
Yeah. So the golden milk is just a little bit
The
less
cocoa
intense.
doesn't stay
Yeah,
quite the color.
The cocoa is kind of brown. So this is the caffeine-free is the main blend, and then for this one I added yerba mate because it's a pretty healthy caffeine instead of black tea
Sure.
or coffee. That's a tea from like South America, mostly in Argentina.
Right.
And then the golden milk has the same spices in it, and then I added organic powdered milk and coconut sugar.
Right.
So it's just a healthier version of regular chai tea, which is just powdered milk and
Right.
regular sugar or something. So, yeah,
So if you enjoy chai, you'll get a lot of health benefits from this.
exactly.
Right. That's good. That's good. I mean, especially with the yerba mate it not just gives you a little bit of a boost feeling-wise, but it also supports your glandular system.
Yeah.
So what a perfect way to get a little boost in the morning, as well as now supporting the organs that you're trying to help heal.
Yeah.
Or for that 4 or 5 o'clock pick-me-up.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of my customers say they've been able to get off of coffee by drinking that instead, and they feel a lot better. That's cool.
Well, I mean, you know, one of the things that they use that for is you'll actually read it in your life extension studies, herba mateas, because it does such a nice job of mitigating any damage to your organs and helping them heal, so that you actually are more likely to live a longer, healthier life by incorporating that into your diet just by having it in a tea.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say is they're coming out with a lot of studies now that say if you have problems with your stomach, it's the cause of over 80% of all disorders throughout your body.
Yeah.
If you're not digesting and absorbing properly,
Sure,
you have issues.
sure.
Definitely.
In fact, it's also very interesting, the serotonin, which they've been doing so many studies on your mood and, you know, how you feel throughout the day. 75% of the serotonin is produced in your gut. It's not produced in your head. Everybody thinks it comes from the pineal gland. Well, it might have something to do with the circular function of the glands talking to each other, but it's mostly produced in the gut.
It's mostly produced by the microbes in your gut.
Right,
So it's
that's
a
right.
Yeah.
healthy
Well,
microbiome.
talking about microbes, there's a disorder called leaky gut syndrome.
Right.
I have
That is becoming much more prevalent.
Right.
I have it, and a lot of other people have it.
Sure.
And it's an imbalance of the intestinal flora
Yeah.
Well, actually,
that
it's
actually can,
it may start that way. It
disperse
becomes a little more
systemically.
involved, right. It actually becomes more involved than that.
Yeah.
And
And it-
the Crohn's, chronic fatigue, all these things actually stem from
and
leaky
depression
gut.
and you know, mood disorders.
Right.
It's,
So do you have anything that, I mean, what addresses the leaky gut? Does anything in this package
it
address that issue?
stops it stops the inflammation, and the
Sure, the
specific
curcumin, right.
carbohydrate diet puts you back on track and gets you energy back
Right,
and reduces greatly the symptoms of, you know, bowel disorders
right,
and, you know, bloating and cramping.
sure.
The only things it doesn't address is because your bowel isn't quite, you know, and stomach isn't quite right, that whole region, you develop after a while, if you've had it a long time like I do, you develop food sensitivities, so you can no longer eat foods that would be allowed on the diet. And you have to screen and eliminate them.
Even those, right?
I use kinesiology and stuff like that.
Sure.
When my stomach goes off and I've been following the diet, or it's like, okay, what did I have that I shouldn't?
And then once your gut is healed, you can go back to eating those foods. Like I couldn't eat raw vegetables for a while. I couldn't eat garlic. I couldn't eat onions. All these healthy
Garlic and
foods.
onions I
Yeah.
can't eat.
But you'll be able to once your gut heals. So
Yeah.
for healing leaky gut, I always recommend the jamu, but in combination with, like you said, the specific carbohydrate diet, and then probiotics or probiotic food. And
Now, what's the time frame though before someone starts seeing the benefits of drinking this? any of
it
these
kind of depends on what you're using it for. For like digestion after a meal, some people feel like their stomach is settled by drinking this tea right after a meal, and I've heard people, some of my customers who drinking it and then the next day their arthritis in their hands is actually better.
Right.
But it's kind of the overall health benefits are increased after just long-term
So it's
usage,
almost
using it
immediate
every
then.
day. Yeah. And
Yeah, it has fairly quick results
Now,
but everyone's different.
with the inflammation or anti-inflammation.
all right, so Jessica, now you had mentioned, before we started the show, you and I just talked briefly, and you got my interest, and you said you wanted to touch on incorporating with mushroom teas.
Yeah.
So could you give me some background as to what you're referring to here?
Well, mushrooms have a lot of anti-inflammatory and just other immune benefits, specifically reishi mushrooms and chaga mushrooms.
Reishi,
and-
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
The king of mushrooms.
Yeah.
The royal mushroom.
Exactly. So the cool thing about this tea is you can just put a scoop into your coffee, into milk, into anything. So I like to make mushroom tea
Yep.
and then add this to it. So it's kind of the combination of, I know, and a lot of mushrooms come from China, so it's the
Now, I
combination.
How do you
find-
make mushroom tea? Is there mushroom powders or you use mushrooms?
Just lots of different ways. You can get the raw mushrooms or the dried mushrooms or the powder, or you can get it already in a tea bag. It just depends on what company you get your mushrooms
Right.
from or who.
Right.
You can go out and pick them yourself.
Right. Unfortunately, the cap is made up of with chitlin. It's chitin. It's the same type of material that lobsters and crabs make their shells out of. Is like the varnished top of the cap. And the spores inside are all encapsulated with this same hard shell. So even if you boil it in a tea, you're not getting the full benefit of the spore oil, which are very high in the triterpenes, which does a major healing. But if you put it in a pressure cooker, it breaks those spores open, and now you're able just to either mix it with alcohol to preserve it or keep it in the fridge and add that to your tea. And now you're getting the benefit of not just the polysaccharides and the glucans, but the triterpenes. But the reason why I asked you about the mushrooms and you got my interest is because one of the most specific mushrooms for the stomach is the lion's mane mushroom.
Yeah.
And isn't that interesting? It actually heals the perforations in the gut lining, as well as it repairs the nerves. So what a great. So that's the reason why I asked you. So
Where
you
can
know
you-
about that. So that's
Where
great.
can you find lion's mane
Actually,
mushrooms?
you can buy it online. I'm sure she has
Yeah,
sources.
online. I actually got my mushroom supplements from a company called Alpha.
That's who I. You're kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm a distributor.
Oh, cool. Me too. Well, I don't really sell it much, but I use it
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. Well, that's
Sell
it.
this.
That's it. Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect that coming out to the show. We're talking about teas and
Yeah, I love to
about
combine their
mushrooms.
coffee and their tea and
Yes.
with my tea.
right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So how much of your time is taken up with manufacturing? Do you still have time to work as a health coach for people? And do you have time to do yoga?
Yeah, so I just teach yoga like 2 days a week right now, and then I do some workshops so that I can help more people all together. I don't really have time to work with people one-on-one right now. So we're in the office/kitchen in the Lafayette Mill pretty much 5 days a week, like 9 to 5, making the tea and shipping and dealing with all the logistics.
And your whole family got involved here, at least your
Yeah,
dad did.
so, well, my brother is my business partner, and yeah, my parents are very
Oh,
supportive
that's
of
great.
it.
That's good to hear. That's fantastic.
How do people buy these from you? Do they go into the store? Do they go online?
Yeah, so we sell in almost 40 stores right now, and mostly in Rhode Island, but also a little bit in Connecticut and North Carolina and Massachusetts. But most people order online because it ships to you within a couple days.
Now, what's your website?
www.jamu.com.
Say that again?
Jamu, JAHMU.com.
Thank you.
And you even have a reorder kind of club.
Yes, that's our most popular
You can
product.
get regular shipping.
Right.
Yeah, so being on the auto ship, you get enough for the month shipped to you automatically every month, so you don't have to worry about running out.
Right.
Because a lot of my customers have chronic Lyme disease or
Right.
serious arthritis or something that they're dealing with, and
So how do you, all right, just for 2 questions. Do you have a larger size?
yes.
Okay. And the Lyme disease, I mean, it's so big in this area of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I've been battling too.
Oh, wow.
So what do you suggest people do in order to mitigate some of these symptoms?
Well, in terms of my tea, I recommend like a teaspoon per day. So the serving size is half a teaspoon, so you can do half a teaspoon in the morning and half a teaspoon at night.
So
or
a
just
teaspoon
one-
will get you a cup of tea? Or
well, 2 cups of tea.
a
So-
teaspoon?
Yeah, you don't need very
Wow.
much. I probably do like 2 or 3 teaspoons a day.
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
strong.
Sure.
But everyone's different. Depends on how much you like. But I haven't heard of anyone taking too much of it. When I got in a bike accident this fall, so I was like, I don't take any painkillers or anything. So this is a perfect time for me to see, like, can you overdo it? And so I was taking like 3 or 4 tablespoons a day, and really helped me with my inflammation, and felt great.
Good.
Makes you look tanner after a while from the turmeric.
Oh, there's probably vitamin A in there too.
Yeah, maybe.
If you pick up color, carotene or something.
Yeah, same like if you eat too many
Vitamin D.
carrots, you get orange.
Right, right, carotene, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a lot of, was it quickly for you to start this business though? Do you get a lot of customers now?
Yeah, so I started, like I said, working at the co-op in Wakefield and just making the actual juice. And then I started selling at the farmer's market on Block Island. And I was just doing that as a test and actually mostly thinking I could get health coaching clients by like sharing a product that would be healthy. And then people just loved it. And at first I started making a lemonade with it. So I was juicing a fresh turmeric and ginger and then using lemons and honey or coconut sugar. And that was really good. But then I found out that without the black pepper, they weren't
getting
the
a full
benefits.
effect.
Right.
And so sometimes I would just on the side make a chai version. And everyone's like, oh, like, can I get more of that? So I just started experimenting with the spices and made this blend. And
So it picked up quick for you then?
Yeah.
When you started?
I first saw her and the tea at a holistic fair. And she had a huge urn, was giving out little bits to everybody. And I was hooked.
yeah.
So it took just a little bit.
Yeah. It's good for people to get to sample it in a liquid version, because sometimes when someone sees a powder, they're like, what do I do with it?
And it's good for you. That's the important thing.
And there's so many different ways to use it. So some people just put it in their soups or put it on toast with honey, and then some people love especially the golden milk in their coffee, and some people put it in their smoothies. So it's whatever
So
you
you can
like.
do, it's very versatile then.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you can have it with the yerba mate and dairy-free. So it's not just one way.
Yeah. So most chai has milk in it. So
And it's
nice.
got no gluten in it.
Have you found anyone with allergies to any of these products?
I've met 2 people so far in the whole several years I've been doing it who are allergic to turmeric, or say it bothers their stomach.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay, so
Allergic
it's very
to
rare then.
But not like for instance, I don't like the taste of licorice, and some people like licorice. If you don't like ginger or you don't like chai flavors, you wouldn't like this. And I just recommend people follow their taste buds, because we like things for a certain reason. So
Yeah.
if you don't like the taste of it, don't force yourself to drink it.
But it's very versatile anyway, so you can probably hide it in, like, say, butter when you spread your toast.
Smoothies.
Or smoothies,
You can
yeah.
hide it in fruit smoothies, and it just gives like a little zing to them.
Yeah, just a little spice. And I think there's something really special about because I could put this in a capsule and you can take it like a pill, but I think if you're actually drinking something and taking the time to consume it with the intention of doing something good for your health, it commands a placebo effect, and I think your body absorbs it a lot better than if you were to just pop a turmeric pill or something like that.
Right.
I don't think you get as much health benefits out of that. Yeah.
So is there anything you want to share about these cards right here, or is
So these are just the information about it. This has more specifics about all the spices and their health benefits and the commonly asked questions. And then this I'm just proud of because I'm an artist, so I drew all these symbols and all of these little symbols
Oh, that's
on there
great.
too.
Yeah.
I was just looking at
General information.
It fully discloses everything that's in there. But don't go home and start grinding all the stuff. It took a while for her to figure out how to do it.
what the ratio is. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people you can just take the ingredients and make it at home yourself, but most people are like, I can't get it to taste as good as yours. So
Well, I know
Just
somebody
depends.
that moved to South Carolina, and she's been making her own, but I don't know how well it is or not.
yeah, so it's a lot of work to make it yourself and put all the spices together, but so it's just good to get those spices in your diet in any way, whether you get it from me or make it yourself. And this is all organic too, so I get it all wholesale organic. So if you were to go to the health food store and get all these spices organic, not wholesale, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying about starting from scratch. So, what does jamu mean?
So jamu, Jamu, is the Indonesian word for herb, for their whole herbal medicine system, but it almost always had turmeric and ginger in it. So that's why I called it jamu, and the company's name used to be Jamu Juice because I was actually juicing the fresh turmeric and ginger. And then
I wondered why you changed it.
Yeah, so I recently changed it to Jamu Chai because it's just much more descriptive, because people are going to get confused with Jamba Juice, and then, of course, in Rhode Island, they were saying Jamu. So I added the H because it's
Soften it
easier
out.
to pronounce in the
Sure.
correct way.
Yep.
And then also, it's my own word, so I can trademark it. And
There you go.
patent it. And then it's pretty cool to have a 5-letter domain name.
That's
as
great.
Well. So, yeah, that's Jamu. This is Jamu.
Believe we're running out of time. We only have a few minutes left. So I want to say thank you to my co-hosts. Thank you to Jessica. And thank you to the audience. Now, I wanted to ask you if there's one thing you would like people to know about your product, what you do in life, the health coaching. Is there one thing specifically you'd like for them to know?
I guess that no matter what supplements or diet or anything you do for your health, it's your intention behind it is the most important. So it's taking the time to drink your mushroom tea or jamu or coffee, whatever it is that you're doing it with intention. And because the placebo effect is more important than any of the scientific studies on any of these things. So just really eating with love or taking care of yourself with positive
Right.
intention and a lot of love.
Intent is the motivator of the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great way to focus on that.
Yeah. What I noticed with the changes that I've made, it's a couple of months now, not only has my health gotten a lot better, but the cravings for carbohydrates and sugars
Have diminished.
have all gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
Gone.
Yeah.
I
Sign
did do
me
a lot
up.
of praying.
Yeah, prayer is great.
Prayer is
Highly
another
recommend prayer.
intention that,
Yeah.
and you believe in it, but it's all gone.
Right.
Now my biggest problem is I like sunflower seed butter. So I have a new little craving.
Yeah, I
But
like
it's
pumpkin
good for
seed
me.
butter. I have the same problem. You could eat it out of the skin.
Right.
Because you
Well,
can't put it on anything except celery or
Yeah.
apples.
no, yeah, I put it on crackers. My granddaughters love it too. And I ran out of peanut butter. My son said to me, "Well, just put it on the crackers, and the girls will love it." And they didn't really notice much of a difference. But I mean, that's what a great source for zinc, which
Yeah.
most of us don't get enough zinc on our diet, and sunflower seeds are extremely high in zinc. It's a great booster for the immune system. So,
Yeah, doesn't zinc combine well with calcium and magnesium?
yeah, they're all the
It's a
metals.
booster.
Yeah. Also, zinc and vitamin D are probably the most important components you can add to your diet for boosting the immune system for flus, viruses, and colds.
And vitamin D helps with the moods, too.
Yeah, especially in the winter. You need more of that.
Right. Well, it works with cholesterol. Cholesterol carries hormones in your system, and hormones is what makes you feel good,
Yeah.
or not.
Oh,
So,
thank you so very much.
yeah, that was
Thank you for
excellent.
having me.
I really think it's great. It's a great line of products. I'm glad you got it off the ground, and it's starting to grow like the sunlight.
40 stores.
Yeah, spreading like
It's
sunshine.
in. Yeah.
Right.
Little Rhode Island's going to send it out.
Yeah.
So does Belmont Marketplace
Yeah,
carry? Oh,
Belmont
good.
carries.
Leslie?
Yeah,
Wooler?
Leslie.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it, well there.
And you got to come share all this with the Herbal Association.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll try to make it to the next meeting. Sure.
Excellent. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad you were able to come share this with us, Kathy. It was great.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, and please come watch us again. Thank you.
Oh.